Welcome to Engage. I'm your host, Todd Hanson. Thank you for joining me as we tell the story of engaged learning at Utah Valley University. On this program, we showcase examples of students who are learning by doing. Today, we're spending some time with directors and winners of the Choreography Design Project, coming up on Engage. UVU recently teamed up with the Utah Regional Ballet for the 5th annual Choreography Design Project, a unique opportunity for budding choreographers to compete for recognition and awards. Young choreographers from around the state submitted applications and performed a sample of their work. For the chance to enter the innovative choreography competition, only 6 finalists were ultimately chosen to compete, including 2 UVU dance majors, Christine Keli'iliki and Mary Weber. The 6 finalists spent 2 demanding weeks creating an original work and then choreographing and rehearsing with professional dancers from Utah Regional Ballet to prepare for the competition. The Choreography Design Project affords emerging and established choreographers the opportunity to develop as artists and engage the local dance community. Winners of the competition get the opportunity to work with and design choreography for the Utah Ballet Company. Professionals representing ballet, modern, and contemporary styles, including a Juilliard School professor, were chosen to judge the event. The competition was fierce, but the UVU students rose to the occasion. I'm here with UVU Associate Professor of Dance, Nicole Ortega, and Jackie College, Artistic Director of Utah Regional Ballet and lecturer in the UVU Dance Department. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell me about the Choreography Design Project. What is it?
It's a wonderful project. We started 5 years ago with the professional company Utah Regional Ballet, which is in residency here at UVU. It's made up of many students that are actually dancing professionally while they're earning their education, working on their degrees. So it's a wonderful program that kind of nurtures choreographers because there are so few being nurtured out there in the world and so few incredible choreographers coming out of universities. So we felt like with this university program, it has wonderful choreography classes and composition classes. How could we embellish that and make that better for our students? And so we came up with this competition. And the students come and they submit applications and 6 finalists are chosen.
And the students have done really well in this competition.
Yes, we're very proud of our students.
And it's grown, this competition has grown every year, I think, since its inception.
It has, and the quality and level of choreography we're seeing is incredible. And it's open to the community, it's open to anyone on a professional level, a semi-professional level, and an emerging level. So it gives everyone a venue, you know, an outlet for that creative process. And so many times it's difficult to find those ways to be able to choreograph and work on the craft of choreography itself. And these students get the opportunity to do it on professional dancers.
Yeah, what an opportunity for a student. Are there opportunities at universities like this elsewhere? Or is this unique?
I think this is pretty unique, and again, the students will probably talk about this, but to be able, for a student to be able to choreograph on a professional company is very rare. And so this is kind of a unique thing to our university.
And what does it do for you with that professional company? How does this help you?
It helps with many things. I mean, I think it helps with recruitment. You know, we go out and recruit students and they see that there's a potential to be on a professional company. It definitely recruits choreographers to our program, good choreographers to our program. I
think it really raises the bar too of excellence, because when you get dancers that are so experienced in their field and our students are working right alongside of them and they're able to grow and see firsthand what it's going to be like when they graduate in the field.
And many of the professionals in the company are going to school here at UVU, so they're dancing professionally while getting their degree at the same time, which is great.
And winning this competition, what does that do for a student?
Hopefully it really gives them a jump start and a little more confidence, especially the younger choreographers. The professional ones are always looking for ways to choreograph and get their name out there, but we're looking at our students and hoping any of the students that apply have the opportunity to really experience this and be able to put that on a resume. It's very interesting to watch them work when they come in. At first they're a little bit intimidated because the dancers are very capable of what they're doing, but the dancers themselves are learning just as much as the choreographers. It's difficult for them. They have to learn 6 works in a 2-week period, and they're very different genres, and they're working with people they've never worked with before. Some of them are peers their own age, and some of them are professionals. So it really fine-tunes their skills in being able to pick up movement and choreography. And so it's a win-win. And then the community gets involved and they get to come enjoy it. So it really engages all of us.
It's engaged learning, and the unique opportunities at UVU are just so amazing because students get such practical application rather than just some learning. They get this really hands-on experience with professionals such as yourself, which is so amazing. So where do they go from here? What are the aspirations for these students beyond UVU and beyond this competition?
I think it depends on the student, but we have several degrees, and they might go on to be a choreographer, they might go on to be a professional dancer, a teacher, but we have a core curriculum in our department, and we believe that to be an artist, they're going to have to do all of those things. They're going to have to teach, they're going to have to choreograph, they're going to have to dance no matter what they're doing, and so and they're going to need to know all of the genres. So our core curriculum that we have at UVU really prepares them for that.
And there's something special about Utah dancers. I mean, they're getting a lot of national attention lately, aren't they?
They truly are. We've had a lot of them participate in some of these national shows that have been coming around. We have students that are accepted into graduate schools and doing wonderful things in their graduate programs. It's really exciting to see the talent that comes from Utah.
Are you noticing an increased awareness? Because we are seeing, a lot of awareness with the different dance shows nationally.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Definitely. I had a student that I trained just a few years ago who is one of the finalists going to Las Vegas and So You Think You Could Dance. And she told them she was from Utah and she trained with Utah Regional Ballet, and they wanted to do an interview with her and came to the studio because they'd already heard of the program and what we've been doing here. So it's kind of exciting to hear things like that.
So what are you looking for in students who are interested?
Commitment. Mm-hmm. Hard workers. We have a very nurturing environment here at the university, but we're really looking for students that really want to be here and are serious. It's rigorous. The studies, some of the courses that they're taking are very difficult, as well as all the physicality that it takes to be a dancer. But it's such a well-rounded product in the end when we finish. We're proud of our graduates.
And because it's an open enrollment university, they're able to come into the program, no matter what. They have a year to decide if they want to matriculate into the major, and then we audition them at the end of their second semester. So they actually have a chance to kind of see if this is where they want to be, and we have a chance a whole year to see if they fit.
You talk about the rigors of the program and the rigors of this specific competition. I'm sure it's not easy. There's probably a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of sleepless nights, you think?
There are. I'm sure there are. The choreographers have to submit an application. It's a written application, and those are reviewed, and then the semifinalists are all selected from that. And then they come over to the studio and they have 1 hour to work with professional dancers. So they walk in and have 1 hour, it's videotaped, and from that we select the 6 finalists.
And then they spend a couple of weeks.
2 weeks, exactly. But if they're out in the field, they might have someone call them up and say, I need a great piece for my concert. I've got 1 week, I'll pay you this much to come. And they aren't going to be afraid to do that, I don't think. I think they're going to feel much more confident and capable from having this experience.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, great. Well, when we come back, we're going to find out more about some UVU students who were finalists in that competition.
Definitely feels more relaxed, and everyone's just sitting in the library doing homework. Super easy to find a parking spot.
I don't mind going to school in the summer, so there's not as many people here.
It's a lot nicer. Easy parking, no crowded hallways, smaller classes. I like it a lot.
Figure I could get a lot of classes done, and it's pretty chill and it's pretty relaxed.
Everyone wants to graduate as fast as they can, and summer is a good way to be able to achieve that.
Welcome back to Engage. We are here now with UVU students Christine Kaylee-Iliki and Mary Weber. They are finalists in the Choreography Design Project. Tell me about the project. Was it just nerve-wracking from start to finish? No? Because you guys were great at it?
No, it was very, it was terrifying.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Just for being a student going into a professional company, I felt intimidated being with all these professional ballerinas, and I come from a more modern jazz, hip-hop kind of background, and so it kind of forced me to step out of my comfort zone. And so also the time restraint that you only had a couple weeks to get this piece put together, and it's being judged and it's in competition with other people. So I thought it was a really intimidating process, but at the end you get so much out of it by seeing your work come to life on stage and being able to work and get close to the dancers, and it pushes you as an artist to not second guess yourself. You just have to go with your gut feeling that you have to, and just work fast and be prepared.
Yeah. More than anything, the time constraints is really what stressed me out. And
But this is your comfort zone, though, right? You are
a little
one of those
more.
ballerinas.
So I dance for Utah Regional Ballet, so I was choreographing on my coworkers, and so I know them, I know what they can do, and I know what I can expect of them. That said, it was sometimes hard for that same reason. They know me. And
so maybe there's more pressure because of that, huh?
Intimidating sometimes, I think, but I thought she handled it very well. She was very professional and just went about it as a choreographer, and that was great.
Yeah, and then you mentioned seeing this come to life. I mean, how was that? I mean, that must be the payoff, right?
Oh, for sure. And the scariest part. For me, I have never felt more nervous in my life than when my choreography was out on stage and it had my name on it, and there was nothing I could do. Music started, and
You can't take it back at that point.
nope. And the dancers, if they look bad, it's my fault, because that's what I told them to do. And especially in our choreography experience here at the university, we get a lot of feedback for our choreography. And since this is a competition, we can't get any feedback. So we're just, really relying on those key principles that they've taught us, and just hoping that really makes it.
The feedback actually comes later,
Yeah.
which is, the judges all give them their critiques and their sheets. We actually have the community that come to the performance and the audience. They actually can make notes and make comments to the dancers and to the choreographers, and then they get the DVD where that's while they will spend a lot of time looking at that and critiquing kind of what they did, but that's the learning process, isn't it?
As an undergrad, you don't get the opportunity to see your work lit and in costume and on stage very often, and so the Choreography Design Project was just an opportunity for you to not only set a work on a professional company, which is really, really rare. Like I've never done a professional company, and especially for an undergrad student, that's a big opportunity. But then to see it on stage and to be able to light it and to be able to give them costumes, that I feel like that added just another level to your choreography. It's something that you have to consider, and so it did literally like bring all your hard work, and it was kind of like Mary said, it's kind of like a display of what your education is, like what can you apply from the skills you learned in class, how can you artistically put it on stage, and it was really rewarding to see, even with the time constraint. Almost, I think, it almost, like I said before, you had to just go with your gut feeling, and lots of times when you keep processing and processing, lots of times you end up changing stuff too much that it's not your work anymore, and so it was your pure just get it out and get it on the stage, and it ends up, I felt really, really great with what ended up coming out, and I think Mary would agree with her piece.
Was there a part of you that thought, holy cow, I don't want to take this on? Or were you just all in from the beginning and said, yeah, I want to tackle this?
For me, I was nervous. I heard about the project and I was just thinking, well, from a modern kind of hip hop background, I don't know if that, I feel like it was a really bold step to be like, I'm going to choreograph with a professional company, but it was something I really wanted to do. And so when I did the application and then I got accepted to do the prelim round, and then I kind of got a feel of how intense this was going to be. There were times that you're like, oh, maybe I should just, because there was a lot of time commitment that you would have to put into it. And so, of course, you kind of have those second thoughts like, well, it would be easier if I would just said, no, thank you. But I think you get so much out of, you're so rewarded by pushing through and giving up like those 2 weeks for the opportunity to choreograph.
Anything worth doing is difficult. And I know your time commitments were probably insane during that time, right?
I had a bit of a dilemma deciding if I wanted to choreograph because I danced in the project, and it's so rewarding as a dancer. And so, weighing out how, dancing and putting myself through 3 different choreographers, quickly choreographing over 2 weeks, changing their minds, different personalities, and having to deal with that, or having to switch gears between, okay, now I'm dancing, now I'm coming up with this for them to dance. That was difficult.
And you're a student at the same time going to other classes as well. That minor little thing you got going on too. Yeah, which everybody else, I'm sure you had classes as well at the same time. So how was the competition judged?
It was judged by a woman from Joanna Mendel-Shaw from the Juilliard School. She's taught composition and choreography for the past 9 years, and mostly her background is modern. She did her graduate work at the University of Utah, actually, and she's a great choreographer. She has wonderful projects going on. And then we also had ballet people, Christopher Young, who danced with Ballet West, and Kate Cruz, who was another ballet dancer. So there were 3 judges to kind of balance it out. But it was interesting, they were all unanimously in agreement on the decision. There wasn't any discussion. They felt like the pieces they selected were the strongest pieces. However, they did mention that all 6 pieces were very high quality this year. And Christine won the emerging division, actually, and received an award for that. So we were really proud. I'm proud of both of them. They've just done a wonderful job, and they've made us proud, haven't they, Nicole?
Yeah, just becoming a finalist for this is pretty amazing, I would imagine. How did you decide you wanted to get involved in dance? When did this start for you two? Were you tiny?
I saw Ballet West do Swan Lake when I was really little, probably 7 years old, and I told my mom I want to do that.
So you're from Utah then? Yeah, and you saw Ballet West. Great. How about you, Christine?
I also grew up in Utah. My older sister took dance classes, and I would always go and pretend to dance on the side. And then so my mom was like, oh, I better put her in. And for a long time, I just did studio, and my mom just kind of thought it'd be like, oh, like she'll dance and take studio, then move on with her life. And then after a while, like I left studio and I pursued sports like basketball and volleyball through high school. And then all of a sudden in high school, my second year, I didn't make the basketball team. And so I was like, now what am I going to do with my life? I wanted to do sports for the rest of my life. And I was introduced to like, oh, well, high school has a dance company and a drill team. So I started getting involved with that. And then I kind of like reignited my passion for dance. And then when I tried auditioning for different universities for scholarships, I was given the best offer here at UVU. And so I came and tried my hand at UVU for first year to see how the dance program was, and I was instantly addicted to it. And then now I realize that now that you're back in dance, like I think once you're in dance, and if you're a person that's going to be a dancer, you can't really ever get away from it. And so it's kind of an addicting thing that you have to have in your life. And so I don't know, I'm not ever going to actually leave dance. I hope to keep pursuing it for sure. But yeah, it started when you're little, then it just stuck. And for some people it doesn't, but for me it definitely did.
Okay. Well, when we come back, we'll talk about more of the opportunities here at UVU, and we'll talk about some of the career opportunities that you guys might have coming up in the future. Please stay with us.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
If you're serious about going to college and getting a head start on the process, come get a feel for what university life is like. UVU Days are designed with you in mind. UVU Days are department-specific events held on Saturdays that will allow you to become a student for a day. These events are free and breakfast and lunch are served. For more information, dates, and times, please visit our website at www.uvu.edu/future students. Come experience what UVU has to offer in your field of study.
Welcome back to Engage. We are here again with Mary, Christine, Jackie, and Nicole. And when we left, we were talking about dance and how we can take it maybe from UVU to a professional career. So I'm curious what you two are interested in doing with dance beyond UVU.
I think keep choreographing for sure.
And you want to do this professionally?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how about you, Christine?
I think choreography design did kind of help me get my foot in that I would love to continue to choreograph professionally. And I think it also kind of gave me the courage to be more versatile. So to be able to maybe set a ballet piece here and then maybe go set like a hip hop for a music video here. So I would love to continue to pursue choreography. I also am a pre-med student. And so I am pursuing to go, my long-term goal is to go to medical school and go into pediatrics. And I would love to use like dance therapy within my practice.
And we've talked about this project, the competition, and that's a great engaged learning opportunity, but there are a lot of other opportunities like this at UVU. Tell me about some of them.
I'm on a pre-professional company through UVU. It's the Contemporary Dance Ensemble. And being on a pre-professional company, both I was able to do synergy too. It just kind of gets you ready for going out and being on a professional company. So we have the opportunity to perform here. I just feel like the experience that you get from being on these companies that are run by our professional directors, you feel very comfortable. It's not like in like a bragging kind of notion, but it's kind of like a testament to your education that you feel very prepared when you go to other workshops or when you go to auditions, that when they ask you to perform something or if they ask you to compose or to improv, I've always felt very prepared.
And many of our alumni have shared that with me, that when they've gone out to audition maybe for a graduate program or for a professional company, they felt extremely prepared, even more prepared than most of the people in the room. And we actually had a student that was on Diavolo Dance Company in California, and she came back and said, there isn't one class that I took in my major that you know, I'm not working with right now as far as her teaching and all that type of stuff. She said every single class has made a difference in my professional career.
Well, and a lot of majors can't say that because there are a lot of classes that you just take because they say you have to take it, and it really doesn't mean a lot for you later on. So that's great. I mean, that's a testament to what you're doing here.
What I've really enjoyed about our program is how the disciplines get to mix. We have to take modern, we have to take ballet, and we get an appreciation really for each other.
Yeah, and it's because they've set up a core curriculum that we all have to do, and then you have like kind of like your specialty classes. But I've grown up with Mary, like doing all these, well, not grown up, but yeah, grown up with Mary, like doing all these classes together with, you have ballroom majors, you have ballet majors, and you have modern majors, and you have dance ed majors that we all are in these classes together. And so we learn the disciplines, and I think that kind of just shows that dance, to pursue that career these days, you do need to be versatile, and you need to be able to be diverse and mold yourself to whatever different companies, different auditions, and just even like just the different aspects of life, being able to adjust quickly. And I think that has been instilled in us.
And you're not dancing just here at UVU or in Utah, but you're traveling the country, sometimes even the world dancing, right?
We traveled with URB to Austria a few years ago.
Wow.
That was fantastic.
Before that, Regional Dance America Festival, the ballet companies, both ballet companies, Repertory Ballet Ensemble and Utah Regional Ballet, were able to participate in that in Montreal last year. And
CDE got to perform in Spain. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yes, I mean, it's amazing, the opportunities that they're getting, and it's because they're outstanding students, and I think they're guided by really excellent faculty.
Did you think when you got involved in the program it would be as great as it is?
No. I'll be totally honest. I for sure didn't know that I wanted to pursue UVU as a school. Like my whole family all were BYU hardcore, and so I was like, oh, well, that's where I'm going to go too. I'm going to go pursue the BYU program. I got a really great scholarship here, and so I came here to UVU, and I was like, well, I can just get my associates and then maybe transfer. But it never happened, and I think it's because I feel like that our school, we are the luckiest school because we have so many, I feel like all our teachers, they're not just teachers, they're really, really good people. And I've gotten close to all of them, and there's not one teacher that I can think of that I did not learn something very important from. And so I think we have very diverse, there's not one teacher that teaches like another. And so I think it is the faculty that has inspired me to keep pursuing my passions, and they inspire you to reach beyond what you thought, what you expected of yourself.
And you've obviously taken advantage of it too.
Yes.
Maybe not all students do that, but you two have. Any last thoughts, Mary, before we go?
Christine's amazing. Go to school with her, and she's all pre-med. It's been fun.
Yeah. Well, we will look forward to great things from each of you, and I'm sure we won't be disappointed. You know, you guys have bright futures. Any last thoughts about the program from you before we leave?
No, it's just wonderful to have the examples that you two are setting for our other students, and we appreciate all your hard work.
We appreciate our faculty. We wouldn't be here without our faculty.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's been
Thank
great
you.
learning about the program. And thank you for joining us on Engage as we learn more about engaged learning here at UVU. We hope to see you next time.